Hello, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make peach cobbler. All right, homemade peach cobbler. I'm going to be using 2 cans of peaches, granulated sugar. I'm going to be using some graham biscuits for the dumpling, and some cinnamon, vanilla extract, or you can use vanilla flavoring, and 2 sticks of butter, and some brown sugar. You can use dark brown or light brown. Doesn't really matter. All right, so you're gonna take a pan. I think I used, yeah, the whole 2 sticks of butter. So we're putting the butter in here first for the peaches. You have to let the peaches cook and for, I guess, about 20 minutes, if that, probably maybe 15. For them to get tender, because sometimes when they come out the can, they are tender, but they need to be a little bit more tender for the peach cobbler. The peaches need to be a soft texture. So now, while the butter is melting, all I'm doing now is opening up the can of biscuits. Normally, if the biscuits doesn't open, you want to hit it on the side of a countertop or a table. I think pretty much quite a few people know that, but not many. Okay, so I'm pouring the 2 big cans because I'm making a big peach cobbler. But if you're just making it like a personal size peach cobbler, you can just use 1 can. So this is 2 big cans of the peach cobbler. Now I'm trying to stir to make sure the butter is all the way melted. And I keep the syrup from the peaches. I keep that. I pour it all in because you don't want any dry peach cobbler, okay? I know some people might drain the syrup off the peaches, but I don't. I keep all of it because I don't like dry peach cobbler. All right, so the butter has melted enough for the peaches. Like I say, you want to let these peaches cook until they are very, tender. And now I'm just adding in some more butter because remember, it's about 2 sticks of butter for this peach cobbler. All right. I think I'm going to add some more butter later, I guess. All right. Next, we're using a 1/2 cup of granulated sugar. Just regular sugar, 1/2 cup. Just add in a 1/2 cup of regular sugar. And then the next, we're going to add a 1/2 cup of brown sugar. 1/2 cup of brown sugar. There you go. That's 1/2 cup of brown sugar. Next, I'm going in with some vanilla extract. You can use vanilla flavoring, but vanilla extract is what I had got. I think I got that at the dollar store. So put as much of that as you can. I kind of eyeballed it. I didn't. Normally you use like a teaspoon, tablespoon of that. Then ground cinnamon. Don't be too stingy with the cinnamon. Put as much cinnamon as in that peach cobbler as you like. Okay, that's what's going to give it that peach cobbler that flavor is the cinnamon. Some people put nutmeg. That's totally optional. That's up to you. But the one I know is cinnamon. Cinnamon, it just gives it a good flavor. All right, so we're stirring all the ingredients in. We're still letting it cook. I still got, as you can see, I still got the pan on. And it's because it needs, like I said, them peaches need to tenderize. So it looks good so far. So now I'm going in with a little bit more cinnamon. Can't be too, like I said, you can't be too stingy with the cinnamon. You gotta put Put a lot. Now we're going in with the graham biscuits. So we open it. We're going to use that whole tube of graham biscuits. This is what we're going to use as the dumpling. Now, I'm a lazy cook, but a good cook as well. So this is lazy way of making dumplings. If you want to use dumplings for your peach cobbler. Now, I know some people, you might just use pie crust or whatever. But how I know from the way my mom, she does it this way. Sometimes she'll use the pie crust, but this way I actually like this way better. So while I'm doing that, I was just taking the biscuit out of the can and just shredding it into tiny small pieces. Now, what's gonna happen after I shred the biscuits into small pieces into the peach cobbler mix? The biscuits will get very big and turn into like dumplings. Okay, that's what we want. So the dough turns into dumplings, and they'll turn into really big once they cook in that syrup. Get all of the ingredients in there, and you'll see the difference here in a minute once I put all of the biscuit dough in the mix. Okay, so once you put most of this biscuit dough in here, it's gonna soak up that syrup from the cans of the peaches. So that's why it's best to put as much as possible so you can have an even amount of syrup and the biscuit, the dumpling will kind of just like kind of even everything out. That's why it's best to put more dumplings if you make homemade dumplings or whatever into the mix of the peach cobbler. All right, I'm placing the lid on that to let it like cook for about 5-10 minutes. We'll let those biscuits. Okay, now they're enlarged. They're bigger. Okay, now they're dumplings. They're dumplings now. So, like I said, this is on the top, like the stove top. This is kind of like prepping it for the oven. And after all of this is all put together, um, you do have to put it in the oven. Okay. Doesn't take long. I would say put it in the oven, let it bake for about maybe 20 minutes, 25, if that. You don't want to let it bake too long because you don't want it to be so dry. That's why I keep all my syrup. Like I said, I know some people strain their peaches, and now I'm just doing a taste test to see does it need anything else. A good cook always tastes before they serve or move on to the next step. All right, so I think I let it simmer some more. So it's actually, the peaches have been simmering for a little minute. It takes a little minute for those peaches to get like, like I said, a little tender. So it's been simmering for about 10 minutes now. All right. Okay. We just let it simmer some more. All right. So now it's starting to look pretty good. So I'll say about let it simmer for about a good 10. I'll say about a good 10 minutes on top of the stove or whatever electronic device that you have. Now this thing here, it cooks really good. Basically the peach cobbler is really done because that thing cooks so fast, but I still put it in the oven. I mean, once you put it in the oven, it just gets a different consistency and it's better That's where it's supposed to be at anyway. But we do this on top of the stove and then we place it in the oven. Like I said. So now I'm putting this into a pan. You want to place this into a pan so I can put it in the oven. Like I said, I'll let it bake in the oven for maybe about 20 minutes. If that. Now, I'm not a pro at making peach cobbler, but if it's longer than that, then leave it in the oven as long as you want, to your satisfaction. But I mean, I wouldn't leave it in there too much longer. Maybe 20-25 minutes. Like I said, you don't want it to get dried up. So now I got that going. It's getting ready to place in the oven. All right, so looking good so far. All right. All right, so it's ready to place. Okay, now I put it in this pan. Now I'm just topping it with some cinnamon sugar. I'm just going to go over the top of it with cinnamon and sugar before I place it in the oven. Let's say you want to place that peach cobbler in the oven for about 20 minutes or 25 minutes. Okay, this is the ending result. This is it coming out of the oven. It's been baked for about 20 to 25 minutes. And I'm just showing you what it looks like after coming out the oven. So it looks really good. This is with the dumplings. Like I said, everybody make their peach cobbler different. Some people use pie crust for the dough. You can use whatever you want. Some people may put pie crust on the top. However you want to do it. But I just decided to do dumplings because it's a lot easier for me. But yeah, this is everything incorporated. The dumplings look very good. And the peaches are tender, especially being placed back in the oven for 20 more minutes. So this is what we got so far. And that's what it looks like. Peach cobbler, homemade, except for the dumplings, but don't tell nobody. All right. Well, thank you guys for watching my channel, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.